I returned from military deployment to discover my grandfather's cabin reduced to shattered wood and debris. The HOA president stood in my driveway, grinning smugly, holding a 12,000 demolition invoice for non-existent back fees. What she didn't realize was that my whole family serves in federal roles: dad's in FBI white-collar crime, mom's with IRS criminal investigations, my sister's ATF, and I'm in military intelligence. The mountain air still carries the sharp tang of diesel fumes, mingling with the bittersweet aroma of crushed cedar logs that once framed 4 generations of Christmas mornings and summer fishing adventures. Standing in the ruins of our former kitchen, I faced this woman who's just made the gravest error of her corrupt existence. Vivian Blackthorne thought she was demolishing a defenseless military family's retreat. Instead, she's ignited a battle against a federal task force masquerading as Sunday dinner guests. What would you do if someone obliterated your family's legacy out of sheer malice? Where are you tuning in from? Share your location below. Let's rewind 18 months to when this nightmare began. I'm Marcus Sterling, 52, a retired Army logistics officer of 25 years who settled in the Colorado mountains. My uncle Theodore bequeathed me this modest cabin on what I believed was just another scenic lake. The old eccentric lived like a recluse but had cash hidden everywhere. The cabin wasn't much: 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a kitchen stuck in the 70s, but the view was breathtaking. Sipping coffee on the back porch, watching mist drift off the glassy lake as loons sang, was serenity after years of military turmoil. The lake, shaped like a teardrop, spans 47 acres of pristine water, ringed by 12 unassuming homes, simple retreats for quiet retirees. Or so I thought until I met Karen Whitmore. Karen moved 3 houses down 6 months after me with her white BMW dazzling smile and calculated lies. At 48, a real estate agent married to a city council hopeful named Derek, she oozed ambition. Within weeks, she was HOA president. Funny how that happens when no one else wants the role. My first warning was her introduction. I was tinkering with my boat engine on the dock. A Chris Craft I'd spent 3 years restoring, every bolt and mahogany panel lovingly rebuilt. She sauntered down in impractical heels, flashed her realtor grin, and said, "So, you're the military guy. We uphold specific standards here." That phrase, dripping with condescension, set the tone. My boat became her fixation. Too big, too noisy, clashing with her vision for the lakefront. Never mind that other docks housed similar boats, or that mine was likely the most stunning on the water. Karen had marked me as trouble, and she always got her way. Her pricey perfume lingered on the dock, clashing with the honest scent of sun, warmed cedar shingles, and the creosote of weathered pilings, an artificial intrusion in a natural haven. The first violation notice arrived on a Tuesday, printed on crisp HOA letterhead, brimming with legal jargon meant to intimidate the uninformed. It claimed my oversized boat violated Covenant 14.7b, fining me $200 daily until it was gone. Military training taught me to collect intel before reacting, so I stayed calm and got curious. Who was this woman trying to bully retired officer on his own land? More importantly, what didn't I know about Uncle Theodore's gift that could shift the battlefield? In logistics, the best intel wins, and I sensed Karen hadn't done her research as thoroughly as she believed. Vivian's first bold move hit while I was still overseas, boots caked with German mud. She called an emergency OA meeting at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, when most people are working. In her living room, with just 7 attendees, she pushed through a special assessment resolution. Our cabin was suddenly labeled architecturally non-compliant with rules that didn't exist when my grandfather built it. Her bureaucratic brilliance shone in a 47-page violation report. Yes, 47 pages for a humble cabin. Our 12-foot dock was deemed oversized, our wildflower garden an unapproved eyesore, and Grandpa's marshmallow roasting fire pit a dangerous hazard. She turned our family haven into a paper disaster zone, complete with backdated notices to suggest we'd ignored her for months. While I was decoding enemy signals abroad, Vivian was crafting fake evidence like a seasoned operative. When I returned, a stack of legal documents thick enough to stop a bullet waited on my doorstep. The cabin's windows already reeked of mold from months of neglect. A sour, musty smell replacing the pine and family dinners of my memories. My training kicked in. Treat every issue like an enemy operation. I cleared the kitchen table and built a threat assessment board, just like I did for Taliban networks. Military legal aid was my first call, and Captain Rodriguez nearly choked on her coffee reviewing Vivian's papers. Sergeant Garrison, this violates the Service Members Civil Relief Act. They can't enforce actions against deployed personnel without federal protocols. I learned there are laws shielding military families from such ambushes during service. Then the property management company, hired by my parents for upkeep, admitted Vivian had threatened their license unless they abandoned our cabin 3 months earlier. She'd used her construction connections to isolate us, siege tactics with permits. So, I dug deeper using public records and corporate filings, all legal intel gathering. In the Secretary of State's database, I struck gold. The OA's registration had lapsed 8 months ago. They had no legal authority. Vivian was running a ghost operation, like an enemy without an army. Her BMW cruised by at odd hours, 2 a.m., 5:30 a.m., random afternoons. Her engines hum, a reminder she was more paranoid than we needed to be. Neighbors shared their own tales. The hardware store owner revealed certain customers couldn't get supplies, and 3 other families faced identical harassment. Same violations, same timing, same intimidation. The community buzzed with the anticipation of rebellion, like the calm before a mission goes live. Measuring our property line, the crunch of frost-covered gravel under my boots felt like gearing up for war. Because it was. Vivian had attacked my family while I served overseas, unaware she'd given a military intelligence officer a textbook case in domestic threats. Every forged document, every shortcut, every shady contractor deal was now evidence, cataloged with battlefield precision. She thought she was crushing a helpless family. Instead, she handed a federal employee a masterclass in local corruption. 2 weeks later, Vivian went full psychological warfare, filing a county safety complaint claiming our dock was a drowning risk to kids. Despite 3 generations swimming there safely, she timed the inspection for 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, when working families are unavailable. The inspector, Dale Henricks, mid-50s, drove a lifted truck with tacky decorations and called everyone, buddy, with veiled hostility. My sister Mackenzie later found he was flagged for contractor kickbacks, a man who found problems that enriched his cronies. Trail cameras I'd set up, legal on private property, caught Vivian and Dale inspecting our dock 3 days early, measuring and plotting. His cheap cologne mixed with lake water was almost comical, except it screamed corruption. During the official inspection, Dale took 4 minutes declaring the dock structurally compromised. His report claimed rotting posts and collapse risks, ignoring a licensed marine contractor's certification 6 months prior. That night, we held a family war council, the first time together since my deployment. The dining room crackled with focused fury. Dad applied FBI case methodology, Mom brought IRS forensics, and Mackenzie tapped ATF databases. This is textbook racketeering, Dad said, dissecting Dale's report. Using official processes for profit, coordinated across multiple players, potential ROW violations. Mom, on her laptop, uncovered Vivian claiming adjacent properties as abandoned to lower her taxes. Mackenzie revealed Dale's involvement in a deadly 2019 bridge collapse. His inspection license should have been revoked. Emergency inspections need statutory authority, Mackenzie noted. Most OA emergencies are faked to skip procedure. The next morning, Vivian arrived with a demolition crew claiming authority to secure the dock. I stood on that dangerous dock, calmly informing them they were trespassing without legal grounds, all recorded. Mom, call the sheriff if you think you're in the right, I said. Her crew hesitated, chainsaws falling silent, a sweeter sound than any anthem. Vivian had escalated from paperwork to attempted destruction, handing us a federal crime spree. 3 weeks later, she went nuclear, securing a county demolition order for our cabin, citing it as a public safety threat. She timed it for the Friday after Thanksgiving, when families are distracted, for maximum emotional damage. We were at the cabin for what we thought was a normal holiday, the aroma of Mom's sage stuffing blending with fireplace pine smoke. Sheriff's Deputy Martinez, an Iraq vet, served a 48-hour evacuation notice with a grimace, whispering, "Something's off, Sergeant. Lawyer up fast." Emergency demolitions require a 10-day notice and judicial review, but Vivian had bypassed it all. Captain Rodriguez was livid. This violates due process. Emergency orders need documented danger, not opinions. My family activated. Dad pursued FBI civil rights violations, Mom launched an IRS probe into Vivian's business, and Mackenzie tied Dale to multi-county fraud. Mom's IRS skills uncovered Viaming our cabin as condemned for 2 years to cut her taxes, profiting from harassment. Vivian's company was hired for the demolition, a clear conflict of interest. At an emergency HOA meeting, she bragged to the media about resolving safety concerns, unaware we were building a federal case. Her radio speech, promising to restore natural beauty, was a coded plan for her resort. Admitting her campaign on air was her fatal mistake, handing prosecutors racketeering and conspiracy evidence. Mom's financial forensics revealed Vivian Serenity Development LLC bought 12 lakefront acres in 2019, planning a $2.3 million glamping resort, contingent on removing our cabin. 5 other families faced identical harassment, part of a scheme to buy properties below market value. Her tax returns showed $340 earned in suspicious payments to officials, including Dale, and her brother-in-law's bank pre-approved her loan. It was a family-run criminal enterprise. Our dining room became a federal command center, with evidence timelines and agency coordination. Dad built a prosecution case, Mom froze Vivian's assets, and Mackenzie tied Dale to multi-state fraud. Neighbors, including a Marine editor and a Navy surveyor, joined as witnesses. By week 2, we had a multi-agency case against a dozen conspirators. Vivian's sabotage escalated, cut electrical lines, damaged water pumps, and septic system sabotage caught on camera. She sent anonymous letters accusing us of security risks, triggering counterintelligence protocols. Her smear campaign, claiming we abused federal power, was recorded on monitored devices. Her final blunder was bribing an FBI agent with $25,000 cash, caught on a wire. She and Dale were arrested publicly, her empire crumbling. A fire at her office, arson to destroy evidence, backfired, as we had backups. Threats to witnesses and a stage break, and with fake evidence. Walmart camping gear as military equipment were laughably obvious. Her asset transfers to offshore accounts were tracked, and an attempted judicial bribe sealed her fate. At the HOA's safety meeting, we presented surveillance footage, Dad announced indictments, and Dale confessed to faking reports. Vivian's arrest, mid-speech, was a community catharsis. She got 4 years and $2.3 million in restitution. Dale got 18 months. Our new cabin, built on the old foundation, hosts joyful summers. Lake Serenity's new HOA has transparency rules, and Montana passed the Service Members HOA Protection Act. Our scholarship fund and a national documentary spread our story. Verify OA authority, document everything, and no federal agencies can fight corruption. Next week, hear about my sister's clash with a corrupt sheriff. Share your HOA nightmares below. We rid them, and some become federal cases. The lake now echoes with laughter and justice, not diesel and deceit.